Well, with the Australian Defence Forces believed to be around 5,000 soldiers short of their operational strength target, the government's come up with a solution. Foreigners. The governments are looking to allow foreign citizens, including New Zealanders and permanent residents from the UK, US, Canada and Pacific Island nations, to join our military. Let's bring in tonight's panel. Joining me is Sky News host and my co-host at the Late Debate on at 10 o'clock tonight with Caleb Bond, Liz Storer, and the Spectator Australia's Fire at Will podcast host, Will Kingston. Guys, thanks for joining me. Liz, this idea to allow foreigners to serve in our military, good idea?
Oh, it's a brilliant idea. Now, Opposition Defence Minister Andrew Hastie suggested this years ago, and now Labor's like, hey, you know what? Let's copy their homework. So this has been a long-running idea. It's finally being put into action because nothing else has worked. And I've seen some extraordinary headlines about this. One we discussed in the papers last night being a foreign army for Australia. This isn't foreigners. These are our best mates. And in fact, if we ever found ourselves in a war, they'd be fighting with us anyway. These countries, they're our allies. We've fought with them before. We may well fight with them again. And so this is just a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. If you've lived here for 12 months, we like you, you like us, you pass all the security checks, why wouldn't we want you on board, especially when we're still, like, this has been going on for years now. We're not getting the recruitment that we need.
Well, the Defence Minister, Richard Marles, was asked about this plan and he sort of answered, then got a little confused and then just started attacking the opposition. Have a look.
As of the 1st of July, we will be enabling New Zealand citizens who have been permanent residents of our country for at least a year. We will be allowing those people to join our Defence Force.
It goes well beyond New Zealand citizens, as you well know, and has broader application, and perhaps the Minister could provide us with the actual detail.
What we learn, Mr Speaker, from the question that has been asked by the Shadow Minister and from the interjection of the Leader of the Opposition is there are no bounds that they won't cross in order to run a scare campaign and blow any single whistle that they can find.
Well, it seems fairly typical of this government. Big on ideas, light on detail. The opposition reckon it's a half-baked idea. What do you think?
Yeah, of course it's a half-baked idea, but that's not new. Look, it's a Band-Aid solution. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with it, but it doesn't fix the underlying problem, which is Australians no longer want to serve their country. And what do you expect? We denigrate our history at every turn. We encourage younger Australians to be ashamed of their culture. You know, when we do things like kind of talking down Australia Day, when we change school curriculums to encourage a black armband view of history, all this stuff adds up. This is why the culture wars matter, because they have practical implications. And those practical implications are things like you no longer have pride in your country, which manifests itself in no longer wanting to serve your country. So sure, add in a few Kiwis, add in a few Canadians. I'm sure it won't hurt, but it doesn't change the underlying fact that this is just going to be a problem that gets worse and worse until we fix the underlying cultural issues that lead to less Australians wanting to represent our country.
Yeah, I reckon that's a really good point.